Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the FTD webinar titled Unleash Your E-commerce Potential with Mercury Online. Today's feature presenter is Csorba, FTD Senior Manager, Mercury Solutions. As a quick housekeeping note, Erin will be taking questions at the end of the webinar. If you have a question, type it in the question box on the upper right side of your screen. Feel free to submit your questions throughout the session. All right, let's get started. Welcome, Erin.
Hey, Janet. Hey, everyone. Janet, thanks again for having me back to talk about e-commerce. I'll be giving just a couple of product feature updates on Mercury Online, and due to our limited time, full demos can always be scheduled with our tech specialist. And I'll also be sharing some really cool ways that you can unleash that e-commerce potential. I tailored my content to about 30 to 40 minutes. So I want you to retain as much of the info I'm going to talk about as possible. So get ready to take some notes. I'll move somewhat quickly, but as Janet stated, we'll allow time at the end for questions so we can do some Q&A and cover anything that you want me to either revisit again or talk about. Okay, let me change my slide here, and let me just give you a quick overview or reminder about what the FTD partnership with Shopify is. So two industry leaders, FTD in the floral and gifting space, Shopify in the e-commerce space, partnered up about a little over 2 years ago. Shopify has over 2 million businesses on their platform. And what we've done at FTD is we've taken that partnership and our proven expertise and used the expertise that Shopify has with security, mobile optimization, reporting, SEO, modern website theme templates, and we've completely customized and optimized that for the Shopify theme for florist and the gifting model. All while integrating all of this with our Mercury HQ platform, which is our point of sale order management cloud-based platform. We call it the single pane of glass. It's that one place where you can manage everything from local orders, website orders, your product catalog, fees and coverage, website content. So that all that one-stop shop place, all integrated with Shopify. Okay, so here's my agenda. I just want to highlight a couple of features on the Mercury Online platform, and then I'll talk about some important business practices that can help unleash some of that e-commerce potential. And I will tailor it to whether you're on the Mercury Online platform or any platform for e-commerce. Okay, let's take a look at live chat first. This is a really cool feature. We added this last year. Members have turned this option, it's optional, and have turned this optional feature on their site, and the results have been extremely positive. Let me say, that I get into live chat here and some people like freak out a little bit. You're like, Erin, okay, wait, I don't have the time, the staff to monitor a website live chat. So the power of the Mercury Online platform, as well as the Shopify live chat, we're giving you the tools like a mobile app, desktop notifications, email notifications, using Shopify Magic, which is Shopify's AI tool that will help you provide instant answers, automating the first reply to your customers as they initiate the chat, and then giving you guardrails like in the settings to help you set your shop hours, those pre-selected answers, and even turning it on and off. You can turn live chat on and off instantly. I will tell you that the members that have turned this on and opted to go with live chat have figured out all of that. And it's pretty cool, the benefits that they're reaping from the sales and operation aspect of this. So really quickly, let me just talk through some bullet points, because what are the benefits of live chat? How can this help my small business? How can it help my floral business? And I'll share with you why we think it's pretty valuable. So increased sales and conversions. Obviously, that's the big goal here. We want to turn your chats into conversions. And the Shopify live chat seamlessly integrated completely with your site. You can send links to products, your current promotional coupon codes, if you've maybe created those inside of Shopify that you might have active, and share pictures with your customers. They can interact with you all in real time. And in that real-time guidance, you can provide those customers with instant help with product information, delivery assurances, any other details, which all can lead to higher conversion rates. A big one is reducing cart abandonment. Obviously, your customers are initiating this chat with you, and that live chat can address concerns, questions that you might have that can cause customers to abandon their carts, leading to more of those completed transactions. And at the same time, you can even upsell and cross-sell. So you can suggest complementary products, talk about maybe a custom add-on that you have that's attached to that product, offer maybe, hey, I really think that the premium or the exquisite version would be a better choice due to whatever the conversation might take you. But it's real time and allows you to maybe increase that AOV as well for you and your overall sales and orders. Customer service, obviously a big piece, instant and personalized. So the live chat gives that immediate customer service, aspect to your website, reduces wait times either from an email that they may have sent you or phone calls and having to do phone support. Resolve those issues really quickly. At the same time, it gives whoever's answering the live chat, whether that's you or someone in your shop, you can give them personalized recommendations. When that live chat gets started, you're going to get the customer's name, their email address, allows you to look up cross-reference in your point of sale system, what their spending behavior is, know who your customer is. Maybe you know that they're going to spend, 125 AOV with you every time. So let's, if they're looking for a recommendation, let's push them towards those types of products, since you know that traditionally that's the amount of money that they spend with you. Enhanced customer engagement, that's another good one. Gives that interactive experience on your website. Modern, lets you have that shopping experience that helps engage your customers directly. It also helps you build, relationships. Consistent, helpful interactions can always build, stronger relationships and foster that loyalty between you and your customer. Operational efficiencies, obviously it's cost-effective support, more usually cost-effective than phone support. And the reason being is that if you're doing a live chat, you can kind of multitask, or you could have multiple chats going at the same time if you end up having to have two customers trying to communicate with you at the same time. You really can't do that on the phone. So having a live chat, it allows you to do that as well. And we can set up, automated responses. So Shopify has this thing called Shopify Magic. It's an AI-powered suggestion tool. It can help you create and handle your common, FAQs, your common queries. So maybe you don't have to even engage with that customer that's initiating the live chat. You could have, your shop hours or your delivery fees, and you can see in the screenshot that I have above, those are the instant type of answers. And it frees your staff up from phone calls, from answering, normal questions that are easily answered by looking on your website and providing, quick links to those elements from your site directly. And then because the customer does give you their email address at the start of the live chat, like I mentioned before, even if you're offline, you'll get an email that lets you know that a customer tried to reach out to you. You'll get their information, and then you can reply back to them via email or give them a call, or you can send them a product link, however you want to communicate with that customer going forward. Competitively, I think this is a pretty interesting advantage. Not a lot of platforms offer live chat. It's obviously becoming more and more mainstream now, but at least in the floral space, having live chat on your website is great for your overall customer experience. And whether you're online to answer or not, that 24/7 availability, making your customers feel that whether you're using the Shopify AI in order to answer your questions, remotely in real time for those instant answers, or again, creating some sort of an FAQ, you can build this out as big as you'd like your instant answers to be. With your shop and your business better than anyone, and you can create those instant answers for different time zones, over international orders or late night owls, whoever that might be, but you can create that for them and kind of be a 24/7 availability. Now, boosting customer trust and confidence, I think that this one is a big one. I think trying to tie this back also to those increased sales and conversions that I mentioned earlier. It's immediate resolution to questions and answers, to problems that they might have that build that trust right away in real time. So it provides that transparent communication, and it helps you address those concerns immediately. Your customers see a lot of ads and sponsored ads online in Google for order gatherers and other type of non-local, floral shops. You want them to know that you're real, you're local, you're here, you're in their community, or you serve the community that they're looking to send their arrangement to or their gift to. And it helps solidify that for them and helping them to convert. So feedback that we've received and data and analytics that we've received for customers and florists that have turned on live chat, and communicating with their customers and building that trust, we have seen a 50% conversion on many of the sites. That's unheard of, obviously, but you're providing an enhanced service. You're providing real-time communication with them, but 50% conversion rate, once you can kind of communicate with that customer, push them to a product, answer their questions, they feel that trust and confidence, and they'll complete that sale. So flexibility and scalability, what does this mean? So the live chat can grow with you. There's actually a mobile app that can be installed on your phone. If you want to grow and keep this with you all the time or expand it to other users, we're talking, I'm sure on this call we have all different sizes of shops. You could have someone that you could dedicate to this that handles all of your customer service. Or if you wear many hats, you might want to just have different ways for you to be able to monitor your live chat. And again, you can have those guardrails up. If you're offline during the hours that you set, and you can see that you can set the hours availability in the screenshot here in the middle. But if you want to have it on your phone, desktop notifications, you can assign chats to staff. So if you have multiple people monitoring, you can be like, oh, this one's going to go to Carmen, or this one's going to go to Bill, or however the case may be, or you can just manage it all yourself. Maybe it's a customer that's reaching out to you like 9 o'clock at night. Normally you're already offline, you've set your guardrails in place. But if this is a customer that typically spends $200 with you a month or something like that, you might want to take that live chat, and you might want to then reach out to them even at 9 o'clock at night. Obviously, you want to set expectations and be careful that customers don't just assume that they can chat with you at all hours of the day, and that's why you have your guardrails in place. But it's really cool to have that chat interaction and see in real time. Maybe you'll see in the chat that your customer has added elements or products or gifts or add-ons to their cart. And then you can see in that bottom where the customer placed an order, and shows the order number, and it tells you the amount, gives you a little party, the party favor there. And it'll show you that that live chat actually converted in real time. The best part about this, it's all free. It's all free with the Mercury Online platform. You can turn live chat on or off at any time and have this all set up. Operations team and tech specialists easily can help you configure all of this yourself. It's also pretty intuitive on the Shopify platform if you wanted to tackle it yourself. Really simple to set up. Okay, cool. Let's move on, and let me move into pivoting to Mercury HQ, which I was mentioning earlier. That's that single pane of glass, the one-stop shop to manage all of your business. And I love talking about this because it's some really cool operational features that we have in here in settings inside of Mercury HQ that allow you to configure your website to take the orders that you want, obviously, when you want them, and how you want to take them. So let me talk about this fees and coverage right here. And first, I'll talk about delivery and pickup and how you manage your fees and coverage from your website within the shop settings section. So this is where you can set your fees and coverage areas, and it can be as granular as you want. So you can see in the screen here that you can set the fields of local delivery, outside local delivery. We actually have rush delivery now available as well if you want to take advantage of that, providing an even more enhanced service to your florist while also taking and increasing your AOV and charging a little bit more for that type of service. And if you want to just set your local delivery fee to, let's say in this example here on the screen, it's like $15. All of your cities and zip codes that you service inherit the $15. And you can set your outside local, and here it's $17.50, and then you can walk away from the screen. But for those that want to dig in, you can individually set cities, and then even farther individually set zip code fees for the delivery, as you can see in the screen on the right. And this can be helpful for all kinds of florists, those in densely populated urban cities with many zip codes, construction, traffic, congested bridges that you have to drive over, as well as florists like out in sprawling rural areas, where you might have to drive around a lake to get to the area that you would deliver. And you would want to charge more for that zip code that's farther out than one that's closer to you, that might be within the same city, that might be closer to your shop. But the thing that's cool though is that we actually didn't just stop there. Based on feedback from florists, and we wanted to allow you to be even more specific and help you with some operational efficiencies and being able to take orders on your site that you want to fill and yet you can fill. We've exposed this new setting called a delivery exception, with the Mercury Online platform. So this has been around since launch of our site, but members have using this all the time. We can see interaction with this, and you can see on the far left in the screenshot that we set up a zip code in Seattle as a do not deliver zip code. So this is specifically to the zip code, and we also set some dates around it. Maybe there's a road closure that come up, some road construction for just a couple days, and there's no way for you to optimize your delivery route if that zip code was in play. Then why don't we just block it for a couple days? That same rule can be changed to do not delivery to adding an additional delivery fee for maybe the same reasons. Maybe you don't want to lose that order, but at the same time, in order to make it more profitable for you, you're not going to charge your normal delivery fee because it's going to take your driver more time and more gas to go around construction or whatever it may be. So maybe you want to add $2 to that zip code for maybe that same short time frame. Giving that operational efficiency, not losing any money on that order, even though there's construction that you didn't plan on, but normally you don't charge that money, the additional $2 for that zip code. So just set up a delivery exception rule. In the middle, you can see is where you set your delivery cutoff times. You can set them globally and apply the same settings to all of your cities and zip codes that you cover. But again, we didn't want to just stop there. If you want to dig in, you can set up same day cutoff times by the city all the way down to specific zip codes. This will really unlock a lot of that potential of making sure that you're taking orders for real world use cases here. So the zip codes that are close to the store, you could have a later same day cutoff time. For those that you route in zones that take longest to commute, your cutoff time for those cities could be much later in the day. Goal here again, maximizing your customer satisfaction, setting the proper expectations up front, take the orders that you can and want to fill profitably with those guardrails that you can set and forget. And then you can even tweak it later. Like if for some reason a driver, let's say you normally had 2 delivery drivers, one calls in sick, especially around peak or holiday, you might want to really in real time adjust your coverage area, change either the fees you charge or even the cutoff times that are around there to make it even earlier in the day because you have one driver for the day. Okay, so lastly on the screen, you'll see on the far left, you can see how you can configure settings for customers to pick up their orders in your store. Now you can turn local pickup on or off at any time in real time, and it reflects on your website immediately. So if you want to shut off local delivery, the radio button doesn't even show in checkout. And you also can see here on the screen in the store pickup settings, there's a design time for pickup orders. And in the checkout page, your customer has that expectation right from the start. It shows them, you can see here in the example, I did this yesterday when I did the screenshot, it shows you clearly when you can pick up your order based on those design time settings. So if a 2-hour design time was scheduled, I'm placing this order at 1:17 Central Time. If you set up a 2-hour lead time, that means that customer, the earliest they could come pick that up would be after 3:17. So it does real florist local time based on your design time and your lead time to design that. And you can completely configure this, block same day, pick up, you can move it to next day. This is just an example of how you can control all of that. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so after we move on, let's move on a little bit here from features on MOL. And like I said, we can set up full-time demos, to walk through the entire site, show features, show admin, show theme customizations. Your tech specialist can help you with that. I just wanted to call out a couple of things that really can help you unleash some of that e-commerce potential, maximizing your orders and profitability. Okay, next up, let's move on and talk about 2 best business practices and some site features and ways that you can unlock some more e-commerce potential. First up here, you'll see on my screen here is the Google Business Profile. Now let's talk about this because I cannot stress this enough. This is so important. Claiming your Google Business Profile as a local florist is super essential for several reasons. So it significantly can enhance your online presence, it attract more customers to you, boost your overall performance of your business and taking and receiving orders, and let me talk through some of these bullet points here. So I did the same thing like I did earlier. I kind of have a quick list of bullets that I want to walk through, kind of explaining why it is important, why you'll see some of these benefits here. So enhanced online visibility is the first one on our list here. So local search optimization. So claiming your Google Business Profile helps your business appear higher in local search results and in Google Maps. It makes it essential for your customers to find you when they're searching for, local florist in Chicago or whatever the case may be. And it helps that exposure because if you optimize your Google Business Profile, and I'll talk a little bit more about how we do that as I go through the bullets here, it ensures that your business shows up in that local top 3. Your goal inside of, Google search and the map pack and everything is you want to be in those top 3 listings and your Google search results. That's prime real estate for getting into your local customers. So again, improving that customer trust and credibility. This ties back to what I said about live chat earlier as well, and how important building that credibility is with your customers. They have a lot of choices online, especially with order gatherers, sponsored listings, other local florists in your market. You want to build that credibility and trust and show up as high as you can. So you want to have a profile that you claim that is credible, trustworthy. Google verifies all the business details. So once you've completed your Google Business Profile, you'll be able to, hopefully move that ranking up. And we'll talk a little bit about how you can really add some really good keywords in there. Customer reviews, this is where you can manage all your Google Business Profile reviews and lets you respond to them through your profile. It shows that you have a commitment to trust and to customer service with your customers. I will throw a little note in here that we have an online rating service with FTD that you bolts into your Mercury Online website. It's a feature that I highly recommend. Shopper Approved is the partner that we've partnered with for online ratings and your Google reviews. They're a certified Google business partner. They actually take the reviews that we take at checkout that your customer enters in on the thank you page, and they syndicate it back to Google. So your site reviews that you take on the website posts directly back to Google. So it's a pretty cool, seamless interaction, and then you can respond to your customers, as well, both positive and negative reviews, and we can talk about that later too as well. Better customer engagement ensures that your business hours, your contact information you can see in the screenshot, but business hours, contact information, shop address, your website URL pointing to your site is accurate, up to date, helping your customers find you and know exactly how to reach you. Posts and updates. So this is a kind of something that a lot of people don't know about. Sure, I got all of my hours and things like that, but you should share news, promotions, events, new product offerings, all of that type of stuff directly in your profile, in your Google business profile, to help keep your customers informed and engaged. So you're going to see, I did actually put a screenshot, one of my friends, Swan Floral in Kentucky. They do great work on our site. They're constantly posting to their Google business profile with links directly back to their website. So increasing your website traffic, direct traffic, a well-maintained Google business profile that can help drive traffic right back to your site where customers can, browse for products and place orders. You can also put products in your Google business profile and create your own carousel inside there that links directly back to your website. Features like the call now, get directions, visit the website buttons make it easier for customers to take those actions. You can see those right underneath the Swan Floral Shop, a small business of florist in Kentucky, Ellesmere, Kentucky. You can see that those buttons are there. I will take off my, Mercury Online platform is the best hat right now, and just be honest with you as a partner, business partner with FTD. I mean, if you have another website or maybe several other websites with competitors of Mercury Online, and you feel that that's the best business decision, we want to support that decision as your partner. What I will tell you though, that is regardless of whichever platform you feel works for you, you should pick one and have one website. Stick with one. All of your marketing, merchandising, Google business profile, all of those types of things should be pointed only to one website. And communicate that website to your customers. I've talked to some customers that have, multiple websites, and they're paying for Google ads for 2 local websites. You have enough market issues to deal with outside of trying to confuse your customers with 2 websites for the same florist, and at the same time, you're paying for this and competing directly with yourself. So just kind of a public service announcement, non-FTD related, but as a good partner, I want to tell you that whatever the platform you choose, whether it's Mercury Online or a different competitor or a custom site, you should just stick with one. And if you have multiple now, it's really easy to redirect all those websites to one and have all of your customers funnel in. Because you want to have one place, whether it's on your enclosure cards, your email marketing, whatever the case may be, pointing to one location that your customers remember and build that brand loyalty with them, and not, I don't know which URL to go to shop for. Okay. Jumping back in, cost-effective marketing. Hey, this is free advertising. Your Google business profile is a free tool. It ensures valuable exposure for free, complements your paid advertising with Google, making it cost-effective. It's a pretty good marketing strategy for small businesses, even if you just did your Google business profile and really made it complete. And obviously the local SEO benefits are huge. Enhancing your profile with relevant keywords, local information, especially with like updates that, I'm showing you on your screen that Swan is doing for sympathy arrangements, Father's Day. They promoted this, just a couple weeks ago. You see June 12th was when they made that post. All of this contributes to that local SEO, making it easier for customers in your area to find you organically without you having to pay for it. And again, an enhanced customer experience. I mentioned earlier that you can upload photos, you can put your product catalog on there, show photos, videos, show your shop. You can see in the picture above, it looks like Swan has an outside photo of their shop, as well as maybe something from an event that they might have done, or a wedding, some sort of a table, a dining table with some of their arrangements on it. So you definitely want to do something like this as well. Showcase your work to florists, to customers, and try to draw them into your website. It's really like leaving those breadcrumbs to get them to come to you. And by claiming, your profile, it really will help your visibility, your credibility, your customer engagement. All, the ultimate goal here is increased traffic, conversion, and sales, right? And again, it's all free. It just takes some time to do that. Okay, let me move on. And let's talk about one more way that you can unlock your potential here. And I'm going to talk about blog posts. Okay, I think that, many small business owners and many on this call are like, what blog post? It's so like 2005, right? What's the value? It's old school. It's not relevant anymore. Or some just think that I don't have the time and expertise to manage a blog. Let me walk you through some benefits first so that I can show you why it is important, why I think it would benefit your business, and some things that you may or may not be thinking about that directly would tie back to your e-commerce site and the importance of that site content. So let me tell you for sure already that the Mercury Online platform underneath with the Shopify platform powered by Shopify, we provide a blog free, all within your domain, all within your site. So if you want to create a blog, you don't have to go to a third party. It's all comes, baked in with Mercury Online, and you can create a blog right within the Shopify admin link for you to do that. And I'll talk through that a little bit of the benefits of why it is. So improve search engine optimization. This is the big one. This is that free organic search results that, that thing that we all love. How do I get my site to show up higher? How do I get people to come to me? How do I do it for free? This is that organic part. So SEO, which is that search engine optimization, this is going to be a big contributor to that. Having content on your website with strong local keywords, strong local presence really will help drive you moving up in local search, as well as doing it all, kind of organically. So regularly updated blog content will help you improve that ranking, making it easier for your customers to find your site. Keyword targeting, I think it's super important to talk about this, but blog posts allow you to put specific targeted keywords relevant to your floral business or to seasons. Like this month is is Rose Month, is the National Rose Month. So improving your visibility for relevant searches. Who's looking for roses? Start packing in keywords for roses into blog posts. Right now, if you don't have a blog, you're going to get some of that. You're going to get some of that organic search because you're going to have a dozen roses on your website, or you're going to have product descriptions that talk about how roses are in the arrangement. But having some really good conversational content around roses in June and Rose Month, and having that, you're not going to talk about Rose Month usually in a product description, but in a blog post you would, and you talk about its relevance and importance, and we'll talk about how you can do it really easily. Backlinking. This is important and something that a lot of people don't really know about as far as increasing that search engine optimization. High quality content will let other curated sites link to yours. They're going to search for something about maybe like I'm using the June as a rose month as an example, but they would link to your site because you're the expert in floral space. You write blog articles, you talk about DIY, you talk about floral care and handling. You talk about some of these things, weddings. So there might be other wedding, event people that are going to link to your site because you have a blog article about six things to know about your wedding flowers that you wrote. And someone might link to it, and you're getting free links from other sites that also Google looks at and says, wow, a lot of people are linking to this website. They must be an expert in this place. We're going to rank them a little bit higher as a florist and in the floral space. Engagement, right? Again, tying back into customer engagement, live chat, Google Business Profile, which I already talked about, educational content, providing that valuable information that I mentioned, like flower care and handling and DIYs or planning advice. It helps keep your customers engaged and positions you as an expert in the floral space. Now you can use email marketing in this as well. Write a blog article, send your customers an email about how to take care of your flowers, after you've received them, and link them back to your blog article. In that blog article, you also want to list your best-selling products. Like you want to always make sure that you're trying to tie that back to a sale, right? Become an expert, provide them valuable, education, but then tie it back to a sale. Storytelling is also huge in blog posts. So share stories about your business, behind the scenes looks, customer success stories. Build that deep connection with your customers. So increasing your sales and conversion, like I've been saying, this is the ultimate goal, right? I'm not just writing all of these articles just to get you to my site and not actually buy something from me, or remember me when you want to do a wedding, or use me as a resource, or whatever the case may be. Order something for an event at a school, like, hey, that's that florist that I've ordered from, and hey, they're an expert in that field. I read that article that they wrote about prom, or whatever the case may be. You also want to always highlight products, special promotions, seasonal things. What was I going to say? Events in your shop, like open house, like around Christmas time, if you're going to do an open house. Write a blog article about that. Include clear calls to action too in your post, that whether it's booking a consultation for a wedding or placing an order for a product. Our Mercury Online websites, which I demoed last fall for Janet in my first webinar, We have a really extensive funeral and sympathy and wedding sections on the Mercury Online sites. The wedding section has consultation forms. It lets your customers fill out a consultation form, send you that lead, and then you can follow back up with them. Talk about that in your blog post when you're talking about a wedding. Again, building brand and trust. Yes, again, trust is so important. You want to build your brand with your customers. Let them remember your name. Let them remember who you are. Let them trust you. Build that expertise. Constantly, and consistently publishing informative and helpful content that always establishes you as the authority in the floral industry and builds that trust. Sharing your personal stories. It shows that you're real. It shows that you're local. It humanizes your brand. It makes you more relatable, trustworthy. And I think too, we talked a little bit about reviews and how we have shopper approved. Feature some testimonials with your customers and reviews that you've received. Showcase that. It lets you take content that your customers wrote that tell you how awesome you are and repurpose that and put that back into a blog post. It helps build that social proof. Again, for social media, this one goes back to enhancing that customer engagement. If you're creating an article for whether it's social or more so for the blog for social, repurpose all that content. Blog posts provide invaluable content that can be shared across all of your social media channels, driving all of that traffic all back to your website. And then encourage your social media followers to engage with your blog content. You can increase your reach and visibility. You can have comments at the bottom of your blog if you choose to turn that on. Some don't, some just leave it as static content. But you can even set guardrails around that inside of our platform in Mercury Online and Shopify. You can turn comments on, let your customers make comments on your blog post, which also gives you that social proof. People are interacting, but then you can be the gatekeeper. You want to validate those and you can approve them before you actually make them live and visible on your website. Most blogs do that as well. Don't be shy about hiding the post because you could get spam, although Shopify has gates with what is the word I'm looking for? CAPTCHA, so that they don't just you don't get bots spamming you, but you can always be the gatekeeper yourself as a human and let you block anything and review any of the posts that might come through on your blogs. Again, that brand loyalty, be an informative source, be a solution-oriented content. All the questions you get. So if you're getting a ton of questions about whatever the pain point might be, mostly maybe flower care and handling, these flowers aren't lasting 7 days, what can I do? Maybe guide them into that. Tell them about cutting the stems, after a couple of days, making sure they change the water out, making sure they keep the foliage above the water level so not to contaminate the water, like things that, your customers don't normally know about, but you can provide them in a blog article. And it's interesting because you'll end up getting cross-functional type of, search hits and results from other people that are looking for that might not necessarily be shopping for flowers, but in your local market, they're looking for, how do I take care of these flowers that I cut from my garden? Oh, while this florist is an expert in that, they've just given me some tips on that. I'll have them in my mind to come back and purchase from them when I have a birthday or an anniversary or a holiday. I think regular updates are important too, to keep that, customer engagement and loyalty. We'll talk about that a little bit. Again, having your upcoming events, changes in your business. Maybe I think what's also super cool here is that you can actually promote goodwill with your employees as well using your blog. Why don't you feature your floral designer? Tell your customers and the public how awesome they are and what great work they do. It fosters that loyalty, between the florist and the customer, as well as the florist as the boss and your employees. I think it provides really cool, valuable content for the overall customer experience as well. And again, lead generation. If someone comes and visits your blog, you can have email signups right on your blog post. You can tell them, hey, encourage your readers to subscribe to your email list so that they're notified when you have a new blog article. And maybe your marketing list builds potential leads for you to communicate to them through sales and other peak holiday information. Obviously, if they sign up for this, we always provide the opt-out. So if they, they get an email that they don't want, you can always, opt them out from having that. Okay, that's a lot, right? Like, blogs seems overwhelming. Like, Aaron, how do I even do this? How am I going to find the time? I'm not a copywriter. How long are these articles supposed to be? Okay, let's jump in here and let's talk about that. Let's use AI. So Shopify Magic, which I mentioned earlier, it's built right into Shopify. As you can see from the screenshot, you can also use ChatGPT. Google's got Gemini. Microsoft has Copilot. I would recommend posting once per month. and between 1,000 to 1,200 words. You want some keyword density in there. And if you've never tried using AI or you've never done a blog post, this is a great, easy way to test it out for your local business and to see how cool the tech is and how amazing it can, output, copy and content for you. But then how much it can benefit your business in other ways. Once you dive into, I'm telling you, I've been using AI for a year and a half, 2 years now. I was one of the early people that loved, I think tech's cool, obviously, that's why I'm in tech, but like, there's so many use cases for this, not just blog posts. Think about creating email campaigns, writing emails for you, using this type of tech and AI in order to generate social posts. You feed the AI the prompt and put relevant florist, floral, keywords, business specific keywords, local information, the towns that you serve, the town you're in, your shop name, the topic that you want, and have it, and you can tell them, hey, I want it between 1,000 and 1,200 words, and then you can just generate that post. And you can see in my screenshot here, I use Shopify Magic all the way on the right here to generate a blog post about prom flowers. Now I chose the playful tone. So it's cool because Shopify Magic lets you choose the tone of voice that you want to use. And Shopify has several different tones to choose from. So you'll see here, I put in, I'm a florist, I need an article helping my customers purchase prom flowers, both for boutonnieres and corsages. So Shopify Magic pumps back out to me, oh, so you've got the dress or the suit, the shoes, the date, maybe not. That's totally cool too. So you can see the playful tone that they're using. Yeah, but what about that finishing touch for your prom look to get it to the next level? We're talking prom flowers. As a florist, our goal is to help you slay that night with perfect boutonniere or corsage. So let's dive in and make sure you're ready to rock the dance floor. So now it goes through and gives you a 1,200 word, blog article all right there, and lets you kind of go in there and take a look and read it through. And all that's left for you to do now is drop in some images. If you have your own, that's great. They're unique to your shop, great. But if not, there's some royalty-free stock images that you can use, like from websites like Unsplash or Pixabay. They're great images and they're always free. And it's really easy. You can do this and just once a month. Start with just doing this once per month, 12 times a year. And I think you'll find that it will help generate that traffic, and as well as, providing you being the expert in the field. And maybe it's something that's cool for one of your employees to want to do if you don't even want to do this yourself, using some of these tools to jump into that space to branch into other areas of your business. What I will say though is that I don't think that you should always just copy and paste, right? You don't want to just use AI to generate everything for you. You want to put your voice into the blog. I think you should always, always, always review any content that you get from any AI generated source first before you make it your own. Just take a few minutes to make it your own. The AI did all the hard work for you already, giving you 1,000 to 1,200 words. Now I think you should put your personality behind it. Okay, that was a lot of talking, and I tried to cover as many things as I can. I'm running under 35, 40 minutes here. As you can see, I love to talk about this. I'm passionate about what the FTD team is doing here with Mercury Online. We've come a long way from our Florist Online product, which we're going to be sunsetting later in this year. There's some really cool features. As those that are, if any on here are on the Florist Online product, it's kind of sat stagnant for a time. We are completely committed with this partnership with Shopify to take this and move this forward for you to have an e-commerce platform that's going to grow over time with you and for you. And the sky's the limit here. And a lot of the things I'm talking about, you never know what you can do and what you should do until you try it out and see if it works. We use that same mentality internally. There's features that I put on this platform that I'm like, oh, this would be so cool. And then we beta tested it with a couple florists and it was like a bust. It was just like, yeah, no one's going to use this. Our customers don't care about this, but unless you try, you don't see what works. And we've had certain things like some of those delivery exceptions and cutoff exceptions and some things that are on the horizon coming up here in the summer and in the fall to the platform that I think you'll think is pretty cool. So Janet, with that, let me hand this back over to you and see if we can wrap it up here with some Q&A. I don't know if there's any questions that have come in while I've been talking, but I want to hand it back over to you and then we can keep talking.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Yes, if you've got a question, type it in the question box right there. While we give everyone a chance to type in a question, I would like to tell you about Mastering E-commerce. It's our exclusive 5-part webinar series that kicks off in 3 weeks. We will be welcoming back Kristen Naher. She's the founder and CEO of Bootcamp Digital, She's going to guide you through the essentials of creating a successful e-commerce strategy. Part 1, building an e-commerce strategy, will be held on Tuesday, July 16th. So I don't want anybody to miss out. Erin's just the tip of the iceberg of what we've got. So we've got a whole series this summer to get everybody going. So go to ftdi.com now to register for the series. Make this the summer that you focus on elevating your e-commerce business for sure. We do have a couple of questions, Erin.
I've done webinars with Chris in the past, and Chris is awesome. You will get some really good information out of those webinar series.
She is fantastic, yeah. We do have a couple of questions, Erin. First one, how can I optimize my Google business profile to improve my shop's visibility in search?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say you want to make it very complete. And by being very complete, you want to have good florist, floral, local specific keywords. I think I might have mentioned that earlier. That makes it easier for your local customers to find you in those search results, and specifically the Google Maps and Google Places. Having that complete profile builds that trust, which I've mentioned several times, and Google verifies it. It's all, verified information. It gauges your customers by creating those regular updates, like the ones we saw with Swan Floral, posting about sympathy and Father's Day. That helps boost your SEO. Your Google business profile fields, this is interesting too. So those Google business profile feeds that you fill out when you're doing your profile, use AI for that too. We talked about using it for the blog posts, but AI can help you with detailed descriptions. Pump in those keywords into the AI prompt, in ChatGPT or something, for example. And when you have that writer's block and you can't think about good words, let that do it for you. That's a good question.
Okay, we've got another one. How does Google determine local ranking, and how does the Google business profile play into that ranking?
Oh, this is a deep question, but it's a good one. I'll try not to get too deep in the weeds, but it's a good opportunity, I think, for me to kind of share a little insight about Google. So Google, the local search and the local rankings are based primarily on 3 things: relevance, distance, and prominence. A combination of all of these factors helps Google with their algorithms to find the best match for that search. So let me just really quickly, like relevance. So relevance would be how well the local business profile, your Google business profile, matches to what someone is searching for. Let's say florist in Chicago. If you add complete and detailed business information to your Google business profile, it helps Google better understand your business, and it will help match that up. So that relevance to the search terms. So distance, obviously easy, that's kind of self-explanatory. It considers how far each of the search results are from the origination of the search. So if a user doesn't necessarily specify a search, and what if they say like florist near me, Google will calculate distance based on, they know where you are, obviously, in your IP address, or what region of the country you're in, and what you might be looking for, what they know about the user's location, as well as maybe what the search terms are. So it's super important, to have your address, obviously, in your Google business profile. That goes without saying. But also keywords in your profile. Like if you say, I'm serving downtown Chicago, or I serve the Wrigleyville neighborhood, that all helps because it really fine tunes where you're located and where your customers might be doing for you. We've done this on the Mercury Online websites. You'll see when you come onto our platform, we've hyper localized all of your websites to begin with. We've injected your local florist town in many places throughout the site. So whether it's in the collection listing, so even in the birthday collection, we talk about, sending flowers from, and we'll put your shop name and inject it right in there, as well as saying in Chicago, Illinois. And you can tweak all of that yourself as well. So you have full control over all that. But we've tried to help you with some of these strategies of how Google does their local ranking, and using our expertise and our SEO experts here at FTD to really kind of hone in on that. And then prominence really refers to how well known your business is. Obviously, businesses in the offline world are prominent. Search results come into famous museums and hotels and well-known store brands. But prominence is also based on information that Google has about your business that come from other places along the web, like the blog articles that you might post that hyper-localize you, links that you're putting in your emails, and anything that's public facing, at least. Directories is a good one. That just hit me in the head here. Directories. We actually have FTD has a business listing program. It's a great way for both relevance and prominence. Google review counts and reviews those scores in local search rankings. So the more reviews that you have, using our online rating service, or even just the reviews you get from Google, can contribute to positive ratings and improve your local ranking. Your position in those web results also ends up becoming a factor. That's why the blog articles and trying to show up as high as you can, all those things kind of bundled together. I know this kind of lengthy answer, but it was a pretty deep question, but I think a good one about how Google might look at ranking and how it does truly work. Good question, Janet, or whoever that florist was.
Yeah, we've got some good questions on here. We've got a couple more too. Really quickly, the two I want to remind people, if you are interested, in the handout section in that control panel, there you're able to download a PDF of Erin's PowerPoint slides, the presentation, if you want to see that for more information. There's also kind of a general Mercury Online handout there as well. All right, get back to the questions. What are the best ways to manage customer reviews on my Google business profile? Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. I think responding promptly. And I think responding promptly to both positive and negative feedback. Even if you're in the right and the customer's being difficult, obviously you want to maintain a professional tone, but I think you should respond to all of your reviews. Thank the ones that are positive, even thank the ones that are negative. Even if it's to the point of like, we'll do better next time, even though you might not be in the wrong here, I think it shows that you're willing to interact with your customers, and you'll take both negative and positive. Maybe if it's a negative one and you need to set the record straight, obviously set the record straight to those that are, stumbling upon your reviews, like, yeah, we did deliver it to that location, or whatever, whatever the issue is that you got a negative review for. I think it's important that you regularly monitor your reviews and respond to them. Don't just kind of set it and forget it. You should go back and see. So even though you're responding, and when you see them, like, go back and regularly monitor, because they may have responded back to you, or whatever the case may be. I think it's also important too, like, to kind of transition back to the Mercury Online a little bit, highlight that feedback on your website. Do it in a blog post. I did mention that as a tip, I think, earlier. We, on the Mercury Online site, we feature that shopper approved widget that shows your ranking and your reviews. It does a carousel and it rotates out all of your customer reviews. We create a landing page when you're on our online rating service in your website, generates good SEO content there as well, lets your customers see all your reviews, good and bad, and it also will show you the replies that you might give to them. And again, maybe using a blog article to talk about positive customer reviews and testimonials. So a little bit about how you manage it inside of your Google Business Profile, but then also how can I use those reviews in order to generate content and show, again, brand, loyalty, trust, all that stuff.
Okay, these are some great questions. Why can't I change the names of my variations when I create a custom or local product?
Okay, we just pivoted we went off topic, which is great. This is a really good, and actually it's funny because this is a really timely question. So we actually just launched this feature about 2 weeks ago. So it might have been some time since you've touched any of your products in the product catalog in Mercury HQ, but I love hearing that this was a pain point for you that we were actually able to fix. We're always trying to listen to florists and constantly taking member feedback for future enhancements just like this. Okay, so let me kind of just say what this is. So the next time, who's ever asking this question, the next time you create a product in the product catalog, you're going to now have editable fields for variations. For those that may not have experience with this issue in the past, or you're not a current MOL customer, this allows you and helps you to create a product, so a custom product. Let's say you're creating a rose product, and you wanted your variations to be red, white, yellow, purple, pink, whatever. Instead of using the FTD global product naming like standard, deluxe, premium, exquisite. So you could do this in reverse too. So instead of just colors, you could do the same thing with quantity. So I wanted to create a red roses product, and my product variation should be like 1 dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen, or you can name them anything you want, like awesome, or you have, I think I've seen years past, remember the ones where it shows us the pictures of the roses like in the doghouse, like you need to go with the exquisite here, customer, man who ruined it. But like the in the doghouse one, you can name them anything you want. So that's a really good question. It's something we just launched 2 weeks ago. So now you can name your variations anything you would like them to be, which really provides you great flexibility and lets you merchandise exactly how you want to merchandise. So that's really, it's a great question. I'm so glad that I was able to answer that one with positivity, that we actually just did that one.
That's really good. Yay.
Yeah, that one worked out well.
All right. I have just a couple more questions, but again, if anybody has any other questions, keep entering them in the questions bar in that control panel. This person said, I'm nervous about turning on, oh, this is the chat. I'm nervous about turning on live chat on my site. How do I make sure it won't overwhelm me and it will really help my business?
It's understandable. I get it. I get that it's understandable to feel nervous about enabling the live chat. But like I mentioned earlier, there's several strategies that can help you manage it effectively and ensure it will benefit your business. Again, I think you should start by setting those specific hours and put those guardrails up, not just for your customers, but for your own life, right? You don't want to be tied to the shop when you leave it at night. You want to go home and enjoy your family and friends and activities. So put up those guardrails, put the availability that fits your schedule. Don't be overwhelmed by queries at all times. Like put it in your shop hours time or however you feel. That it's up to you. It's your business. It's your site. Manage it how you feel best. And again, we give you the flexibility to still get the notifications if you choose to do so, but it doesn't mean you have to reply to them. So if it is an important customer, or maybe you had a business client or something, you could always reply to them, but that's up to you. You set that up. So I understand being nervous about it and being like, kind of, am I going to be tied to this thing? Use Shopify's AI to generate those instant responses too, where maybe you don't have to physically answer it. Let those common questions and provide initial responses. Let it free up your time for more complex inquiries or you to enjoy life with family and friends, but while still taking care of your customer by providing those instant answers. Once you get more comfortable in chat, maybe you can train a team member to help you manage it. And maybe that it becomes part of their job, someone in a customer service role or someone who's maybe interested in doing it. As far as helping your business, I shared earlier that we've had some shops where we're seeing conversions as high as 50%. So a live chat starts and it can go 50-50. Maybe there are just looking, and I think when I say the non-50, because your customer's engaging with you, they're providing a way saying, hey, I'm super interested in whatever I'm asking you about, enough for me to initiate a live chat and wait for you to reply to me. But it helps reduce that cart abandonment. If they're just asking you about like, hey, do you deliver here? Maybe that's a validation to make sure that they can place their order and get the arrangement or gift to the zip code that they're looking for. And it helps reduce that cart abandonment. It builds that stronger real-time customer bond, right? My overall recommendation is, don't be afraid to take some risks here. Sometimes we try things out and they fail, or sometimes you will feel overwhelmed and maybe it isn't something that's for you, but you never know until you try. And every shop is different, every staff is different, markets are different. Maybe the customers in your market that could care less about live chat, but you won't know until you give it a try and see if it does work for you. And again, just like I say with our websites, like these are your websites, right? These services and these features are yours. Does it work for you? This is your business. But I think taking some of these initial steps can help you kind of put those guardrails around live chat and reap the benefits that we've seen from other florists that are using it while not having you feel overwhelmed with the feature. I hope that kind of comprehensive answers that.
Okay. So last question I see, but again, there's still time to type another question. If you've got any, we want to make sure we answer them all. This one was asking about the images you had mentioned. What were the sites that you mentioned for free images that they can use for blog posts?
Oh yeah. I mentioned two, and there's several, but let me give you two. And Janet, you could always put it in the chat too, or I don't know if I can do it in here, but unsplash.com, UNSPLASH, unsplash.com, and Pixabay, PIXABAY.com. So Unsplash and Pixabay, they both have excellent high quality images. They can be used freely, they're royalty free. I would say, although not required, but appreciated, the photographers, and just like you, as designers and creative people, I would recommend dropping an attribution at the bottom of your post, give the credit to the photographer or the creative designer. It's not required because they are royalty free. They've uploaded them in order for free range use for both personal and commercial use. You'll always see in there if it's paid or whatever. A lot of the places that are free, like Pixabay and Unsplash, you can put them on your website all day long. And they're high res. I mean, you can use them in your blog posts. You can use them in email. Don't just kind of think about it as something for blog posts. I mean, use them in email. use them in any of those marketing that you might want to do, even print. I mean, the images could be high res enough depending how large you want to use them in a print piece if you're still doing any type of print marketing, or a flyer or an open house or something that you would put on your, front door or whatever the case may be. Or if you're at like a 4th of July celebration, you're doing handouts to, promote your business. A lot of cool art that's there, and you can search for flowers or floral or anything that you might be looking for. And it is royalty free, and you can use it on your website. That's a good question. I think a lot of florists feel overwhelmed with all of these types of things, right? I don't have access to a creative person that's going to use Photoshop and create images for me, or I'm not going to be able to write. I'm not a copywriter. I mean, with all the tech that's come a long way with, AI and, being able to output articles and royalty-free images, I mean, it takes a lot of the marketing piece out of it for you, or at least helps you get there. I mean, I think it's crucial that you inject yourself into all of this and don't just rely on computers to do it for you. This is a business that you've built over years and a reputation you've built over years, and you want to inject your personality into everything, which I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, good point, Aaron.
Cool.
We're
almost right at time. Anything else?
I do not see any more questions. So yeah, Aaron, thank you for sharing a lot of incredible information with us. Really excited for that. Thank you everyone for taking the time to join us today. Reminder, this is just kind of a kickoff for our Mastering E-commerce 5-part webinar series that starts in 3 weeks on July 16th. So be sure to register for that. Recording of today's session will be available on demand on the FTD Mercury Network Florist YouTube channel, as always. And then, of course, for more education programming from FTD, visit ftdi.com to register for those upcoming free webinars and design shows later this summer, as well as viewing past education programs on demand. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.
Thanks, everybody.